Because you are not the only ones who have invested in this geothermal business. We have Kenjan.
Can I have a bottle of water?
Yes, please.
Chair, before she responds,
Yes.
I want to take a radar. So what is this justification that they can give as to why the capacity charge should be changing as they upgrade, and yet they're already making profit from the sales of the amount of power they're selling to Kenya Power?
The concern of the member is that you see, we as a committee, we have also looked at the pricing structure of Kengen. And the only reason that Kengen would have been excluded from this discussion is if there were subsidies from government to lower the costs. But remember, there is no such subsidies. Kengen, we do not finance Kengen to do any form of drilling. We don't. We don't give them any look at the budget. We don't give them any money from the exchequer to do any form of drilling.
All IPPs are business entities. And what they could be doing to make it more competitive, they are supposed to be competing with Kengen to sell power to Kenya Power at a cheaper rate, more than even Kengen, because they are business entities. Today we could be asking Kengen, how comes IPPs are selling power more cheaper than you? But in this case, it is the other way around. How? We would wish to hear, to get a justification as to why they are charging that rate and why they should remain in business. Otherwise, I think we should start thinking of how this contract can be terminated. This is where Mwananchi is actually making the noise from.
This is not the most expensive IPP. And it's very uncomfortable to be under attack, to have all these allegations thrown at me, and we don't even get a chance to respond. I want to note that for the record. We are here at the invitation of the government. This amount of money, large amounts of money, then and now, constantly are being invested for the production of geothermal energy for the benefit of the grid, at the invitation of the government. After all government approvals, nothing was done other than in full accord with the law. We are a public company, we are a US company, we do not monkey around. We come to do our job and we do it well. If we're asked to produce reliable energy, to constantly reinvest, monitor, redrill, close old wells, build new wells, $250 million in the past few years just to keep the geothermal reliable, for the benefit of the government, for the benefit of the Kenyan people, we do not feel comfortable in the way that we're being approached by the committee. So please, if you'd like to have clarifications, if you'd like to have responses, we're more than happy to provide them. But there has to be some element of respect that we're here to listen you out. We understand you believe you're acting for the public good. We are also here for the public good. We're also representing shareholders. Excuse me, let me please finish what I'm saying.
Just finish.
I'm sorry, but there has to be some element of fairness in the room. And I don't feel that sitting here, there's any wish to actually hear what we have to say. So if that's the case, I'm happy to turn the forum over to you. You can say or develop what opinions you like, and we will hear you out. But if we don't have a chance and we don't get to respond and you make your own conclusions without even asking to hear the facts or knowing the numbers or knowing the history or knowing why the tariff is the way it is, how we differ from Socian, that we carry the geothermal risk. Socian does not. Socian doesn't have to run the geothermal resource. It can convert what it receives or not. It is a take or pay agreement. We know it well. Why Kengen is different from us? Kengen is a parastatal. Kengen has received concessional financing for its activities. It has the backing of the government. We do not. We do not have a guarantee for the government for any kind of loans. Over time, Kengen has received those. And if Kengen is, well, highly efficient, that's excellent. I'm very happy for Kengen. But that doesn't mean that we are doing anything other than our job and our side of the table.
Let me just tell you that there is no reason to be agitated. As long as you are doing business in Kenya, we are going to hold you accountable. With the purpose of this committee, we are the national committee that represents the whole country on matters energy, and it is our business to ensure that Kenyans are protected. Doesn't mean that when you are a big organization, you are not held accountable. In fact, our thinking is that when you are a big organization, you should be affording better rates because you are big. And you don't need to borrow everything because your organization probably has the capacity. So the bigness reflects in the finances. So what we want to know is to establish, and it is not for you alone. This is a route for everyone who is investing here. And for your information, actually going forward, any power purchase agreements will have to go through Parliament. Any amendments, they have to go through Parliament so that we see if there is value for money. So it is nothing personal, because probably even when some of these contracts have been signed, probably you are not even there. So it is not you as a person. It is a deal that we have gotten from your company that we are saying does not reflect value for money. It is nothing personal. And that value for money is not an allegation. It is a question of reading the figures. It is a question of comparisons. So if we were offering us the same figures with others, then we would not be asking these questions. We are asking you because your figures are different. It doesn't mean that we have a problem with you. It means that we have a problem with the figures you've given us as a company. And we are telling you again that we understand that Kengen is a parastatal. But let me tell you, Safaricom is private, it's not a government entity, but it's doing good business and in a competitive way also. And we are also saying that there are new people in this business who are also doing what you are doing, who are not parastatals, and they have also managed to give us good deals. Because you see, then how does it help you when then we say, for instance, look at, in total you are supplying us with 150 megawatts, right?
Yes.
It cannot be, the only justification is because you are helping us to have power. Do you know that Kengen has 300 megawatts equivalent of steam that is ready for conversion? Mm-hmm. Meaning that by virtue of converting that, it can render your organization, redundant, because basically it's given 2 times. The steam available is actually 2 times what you are giving us. You are not the only one, and we appreciate your efforts because you started at a point when we needed you most, when there was a need to bridge the gap. But then I think advantage has been taken of the situation that we started at that level. Going forward, you have established yourselves here. Then we expect you to give us value for money. It is nothing too much to ask. When we say when a contract has been revised midway, and we expect lower figures, and they have not been lower, then we must ask questions.
Our responsibility is to ensure that we look after the interests of the Kenyan citizens as the National Assembly, the committee in charge of energy. We will ask you for justification. Whether we get agitated or not, we will not fail to ask questions because it's our responsibility. Oversight is one of our responsibility, one of the reasons why we are elected as members of parliament. Otherwise, as the chair has indicated, we have amended the law and all the approvals will have to be coming through this committee.
To be very honest, I don't want to rule Madam as a hostile witness on this matter, but that is what she is becoming. Should we not get that justification, which every member here is interested to get? I think we are going to make our own report. We can release her and make our own report.
This committee is people's representative. Those are the Kenyans who raised complaints that they are facing high bills. It's not the government that complained. That is your guest or the person who invited you. And even the member who raised this issue on the floor of the House is our colleague who is not a member of this committee. She's representing other Kenyans from that particular part of this country. So when you tell us that you are here courtesy of government invitation, you are not here to monkey. Those are the words you used. Nobody accused you that you are doing monkey business. I don't know if from the invitation, if there's anyone that you use that all power is doing monkey business, because she said that your company is not here to monkey about.
Madam got shortly lost her composure somehow and made some references, even using the word monkey. I feel very uncomfortable considering the historical connotations associated with the word monkey between black people and white people. And I just want her to withdraw that particular word in that context so that my spirit will be at peace.
First of all, I withdraw that word, and my profuse apologies, and truly no harm intended. I only wanted to say that this is a company that works exactly according to the rules and according to all regulations, law in all countries to which we're subject. And my true apologies if anybody's feelings were personally hurt. Certainly not our intention. Certainly not. Apologies.